Okay, so please, in the next session, which will be from 12:15 now, we will talk about the difference between leadership and management, and an interactive session, and I will look at the cultural issues, cultural leadership, leadership within the cultural context. But for now, if you have any questions before we have the break, please let me know. We still have 2 minutes. Okay, please. We have one question from this side, please. Can I use the microphone? Yes.
Like I give the example of my program that we use in our daily life. So the subject was doing something different, but suddenly he gets something there, and it's some discovery of my program. The X-ray we are using, it's not, they were not looking about to develop the X-ray, but accidentally they found something like that.
And if you look at the greatest research ever, it was an accidental research. Mostly accidental. People were doing something else and they created a different product.
Yes.
This is true, absolutely. But that's why when you do research, you tend to have access to more opportunities to have accidental research.
At times people say that if your mind is not thinkable or nothing is coming in your mind, you keep doing your research.
Yes. I absolutely agree. Okay, any more from this side, ladies? Please, we have one point from our colleague.
To work as a team player with other leaders. So, anything about
Conflict management, and it's human nature. Some people maybe strive through conflict. Unfortunately, in academia, it doesn't help that much when there are conflicting and opposing views between various groups and teams. It doesn't help at all, but I think it should be the responsibility of somebody higher up to make sure that frictions between these groups doesn't exist, conflicts is managed. It's changing the culture. I mean, we're talking about how do you change the culture. And my colleague here gave me a very good example of how, if you publish on your own, you get promoted. You know, in the West, you have to publish with somebody. It doesn't count whatsoever if you have single author paper. It doesn't have any value. You will not get promoted because you have single author paper. They want to encourage collaboration through promotion and various mechanisms. So you have to change the culture. The culture has to change to resolve these issues and get rid of conflict. But conflict exists from thousands of years. People sometimes have a lot of conflict. Please. Can I even have the microphone? Please.
Good leadership is the guy or the person who can manage the difference between the different parties or colleagues and can bring them together as much as he can and not take a side whatsoever. This is the good leadership who can manage the group he works with and also set himself as example and do not get upset or get mad.
Absolutely true. You will see when we talk about the values, there's a workshop about values and ethics, and there's no way you could be a leader if you side with somebody, if you discriminate against anybody because of their background or nationality or religion. You have to have fairness and you have to be honest in solving and resolving issues. And in general, some problems are created by leaders, because they strive for competition between groups. They make them competitive at the expense of good relationship between them. But the leader is succeeding. Because when you have competition, sometimes you may increase the output. You may have more, because one group is competing with another. They want to produce more paper. So they increase the number of publications, but at the expense of morale and motivation and okay, we're gonna break now for until 12:15, please. And if you can come on time, please, because I said whatever the difference between leaders and managers, the first item is do the right thing, leaders do the right thing, and managers do things right. So those guys put the vision, the strategy, the directions, and the managers do the things right. So sometimes if you get the wrong direction or the wrong vision, so the managers are doing things right, but you are not producing the right results in fact. Because you have not set up the right direction or the right vision or the right strategy. So the leaders have to do things to do the right thing, and the managers will do things right. Leaders are interested in effectiveness. Being effective, very big difference between effectiveness and efficiency. In terms of definition, effectiveness is doing the right thing. Efficiency is doing things right. Okay, it's the same thing. Done? Thank you. Leaders are interested in innovation, they innovate. Managers administer. Leaders develop skills, people, processes, and managers focus on systems and structure. Leaders rely on trust more than control. Those people rely on control. Leaders align people with the direction. They set the direction and they make sure that people are aligned with that direction. But if you look at managers, they organize, resource, and staff things, so there's no alignment. They do the job according to directions. The emphasis here is on philosophy, core values, shared goals, while the emphasis here is on tactics, structures, and systems. Leaders are interested in long-term views, short-term views. This is very important. Leaders ask what and why. What needs to be done and why you are doing it. When you look at the questions by managers in general, they ask the questions how and when. They are interested in time scales, when we are going to do it, how many days, how many months, how many years, and how we do it. So, complete opposite. What and why in comparison with how and when. Leaders challenge the status quo, managers accept it. Leaders focus on their futures and their eyes on the horizon, while the managers focus on the present, the daily tasks, and have their eyes on the bottom line, and mainly finance, time scales, and so on. Leaders develop visions and strategies, and managers develop detailed steps and timetables. Leaders seek change, while managers seek predictability and order. Somebody mentioned predictability like before. It's more of a managerial type of task. They want to see more predictability. They take risks. They avoid risks. They tend to be risk averse. They want to avoid risks. Inspire people to change. Motivate people to comply with standards. So the managers adopt the compliance type of model, while the leaders are invested in the inspirations and the change management. The leaders use person-to-person influence. They don't use the status. They try to influence people as individuals, while the managers use position to position. How many times somebody will come to you and then say, the dean told me to do this. The manager will use the dean, the vice dean, the president, the vice president, the head of school, the program leader. Leaders in general use people. They try to influence people, people to people, not position to position. inspire others to follow, inspire others to comply. They operate outside of organizational rules and regulations. Sometimes they break the rules, leaders, for the benefit of the organizations, while managers operate within organizational rules and regulations. Leaders listen more, and managers listen less. And the leaders focus on value more than cost. They are interested in value, which is much more important. You are an economist, you can see the value versus cost. So the managers are interested in cost. How much does it cost me? And it may cost you less now, it may cost you more long term. So you have to look at the value more than the cost. You have to balance, the leaders balance external and internal activities, while managers focus mainly on internal activities. And most importantly, leaders seek forgiveness. They do mistakes, they ask for forgiveness, they said, I've done this wrong, but for the benefit of my university or organization, and they ask for forgiveness. While managers, they don't do mistakes, they only ask for permission. Can I do this? Should I do that? Do I have money to do this? Etc. They ask for permission all the time. And planning, failing to plan, is planning to fail. We have said it many, many times. So we need to plan properly, and those guys are doing the planning, and those guys are doing the implementation. Now, this is a compilation of the differences between leaders and managers. I'm sure I have missed a few things which are really important in life. I want you to help me to identify some extra things leaders do and managers do. So I will start by to encourage you to start the discussion. I need the microphone. Do we have a microphone, please? Microphone? No? I usually hide it inside. So when you look at knowledge, in general, who has more knowledge? Leaders, managers. I think leaders have more of a general knowledge and overviewing knowledge, high-level knowledge. Managers have a very technical and specialized knowledge. They know more about the subject area. The leaders have know more about the overall organization, maybe. So I think in terms of knowledge, leaders have high-level knowledge. While managers have detailed knowledge. Okay? What else is? Let me start from this side and then I move to the
Manager have more power, leader has less power.
Less power.
Manager has like formal power by the organization. So he is more authoritative.
The opposite or
Manager has more authority.
leaders have more authority.
No, manager.
Managers have more authority. Because if I'm leading a research group and I have control of the budget, I have a research manager who's doing the research on my behalf, I have all the authority almost.
Authority is based upon the position you have in the organization.
Yeah.
So if you have the higher position in the organization, so you have more authority.
Yes.
You can play the lead.
I'm comparing if I have the task. It needs a leader and it needs a manager. I think this person has more authority. Once again, it's high level. And this one has the power within the defined constraints. Power within defined constraints.
It's depends upon how you grade people to complete some tasks.
Yes.
So based upon if you have the higher authority,
Yes.
then you will influence more. So people will be somehow.
Yes. Absolutely. It's a high because in this one, the more you go high in the organization, like if you have the president, you have all the authority, and if I'm a vice president, I'm just almost implementing certain things for the president. In one context, I have power within the constraints. But within my area, I become the same person as vice president. I have the authority over academic affairs. I have the deans who are doing maybe the management side, and then the deans becomes the authority. It's changing in the higher education environment.
So what about accountability? Manager have the
Yes, accountability. Which one has more accountability? Leaders. Accountability. Yeah, but if something goes wrong,
We talk about the tasks. So
Yeah.
we have to finish some tasks on some
Yeah.
time.
if
Then the manager will have the right.
if I'm the research group leader and I have a research manager, I'm more accountable because the vice chancellor will come to me or the president will come to me and then say, "But you have not achieved your target. You are more accountable." It's shared accountability. There's no question about it. But if I say those are more accountable, those are more daily, almost daily delivery of they are responsible for the delivery. The accountability at the end goes more to the leader. Okay?
So if you have managers, so first you should be the manager or you should be the leader.
The leaders are in the hierarchical organization. The leader is higher than the manager. But depending on the context, because I said to you, president, vice president, but the vice president becomes leader here to manage the academic activity. The deans should become the managers on his behalf. Then the dean becomes a leader for the head of schools. So it's changing. Okay.
I think leaders are and managers is the same, but they different in their style. Manager tend to be autocratic, but leaders tend to be democratic. I think.
That's good. Okay, what else from this side before we move to this side?
Leaders are like socialize our leaders, they work with our leaders. But managers, they are managers of the work, they are not socialize.
Good one, yeah. So almost leaders everywhere. You can see that family leaders, etc. Those become managing work almost. Okay, thank you.
According to my understanding, as we discussed, a leader could be a manager, but a manager cannot be a leader.
The leader can be a leader and a manager, and the manager may not be a leader. Yeah? Yes? Good one. Leader and manager. Only manager. What about emotional intelligence? Who had more emotional intelligence? Leaders, for sure. They have more emotional intelligence. They have more specialized knowledge. Or maybe they are really intelligent, they are very clever, but not emotionally. Yes.
Oriented or result oriented.
Yes.
As for the leaders are concerned, they are both. Yani they are people oriented as well as task oriented. product oriented or result oriented. So managers' focus is only on the results.
It could be both, maybe more towards the management side. Okay, can we have the microphone, please? Yes. Okay.
Leaders and those flexible approach on which he can interview and regulate something. But manager follows predefined approach, the rigid approach. He can
Absolutely. More flexibility this side, rigidity the other side. These are these.
Leader should have broad vision and also long-term tasks to achieve. Manager vision may be more limited and also most duties should be achieved in a short time.
Thank you.
Leaders project oriented and managers task oriented.
Good one.
Leaders can manage more than one managers to achieve the goal and objective of the institution. Meanwhile,
good work. Leaders can manage managers. Please.
The leaders usually take a much broader view of the situation, or they have a broader context within which they think, while a manager will have a very narrow context.
Narrow.
Okay, I'm afraid I'm going to speak, but leaders are constructive while managers are instructive.
I thought you were going to say constructive versus destructive. They have been very kind to tell them they give instruction, they're instructive. Okay, I think that's enough. We'll cover plenty. You can see there's a big difference between leaders and managers. And as we said before, leaders could be managers at the same time, or just managers, or just leaders. And some people are not leading or managing. I don't believe in this. I'm still convinced in academia, you cannot run a lecture unless you provide some leadership quality. Now, who's talking this morning about producers, the impatient, they want to do it quickly, and this is a model which shows a combination of characters in an organization. So you will have the producer, the administrator, the entrepreneur, and the integrator. And believe me, in every single organization, you will have a group of individuals. Some of them are really good in producing, some are good in administrating, some are good in doing entrepreneurial activities, and some are good in integration. They are called integrators. So you can go and assess every member of your team and see, give them a percentage. You may say 75% are producers, 10% are administrators, 10% entrepreneurs, and 5% integrators. Some of them could be 10% producers. You can assess them almost. And you can see their characters from the work habit, the visual appearance, and what they like, what they don't like. And when you look at the producers, they work long hours. They are serious, restless, little emotion, do it now, get it done, so impatient, they cannot wait. Hard work solves all problems, always fighting deadlines, explains by doing, feel that teamwork is less efficient due to communication needs. So you give them a task, they go home, they say, I need to communicate with the rest and send an email and WhatsApp, and say, I'll go and do it. And they produce it. They are the producers. They are just emotionless, they are hard, they're serious, they deliver. You cannot have all producers in an organization. They will make the environment really tense, but they want everybody to be operating the same way. The administrators are neat, organized, low-key, control-free. They want to control everything, careful, step-by-step, adhering to rules and procedures, punctual, schedule meeting as a rule. They want to have meetings, committees, seek standardization, things team work if they follow team rules. And then the entrepreneurs, irregular hours, they may not turn up to meetings, may not show up, playful, tell jokes, tell stories, talks, inspires, dreams, exaggerates. I'm going to generate $100 million for the university next week. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to successfully get this business idea. They have plenty of ideas, and they exaggerate things. You can feel them, you can touch them. They are in the institution. They do exist in every single organization. They call them entrepreneurs. Doesn't wait, action-oriented, walking around, unexpected views. Teams are an audience for the entrepreneur's vision. If you are in line with their vision, they like you. If you are not, you are out. They will exclude you. And then you have the list, Mr. Nice Guy, the integrator, reliable, trustworthy, warm, caring, good listener, seeks compromise, try to understand people and ethics, solve problems by talking them through, see teamwork as a goal in itself. So you see them in some organizations, they call the integrator. They care about everybody, they don't like anybody to criticize the rest, they hate it when you criticize the rest. They are decent individuals, they are needed. But for any organization which has all producers, or all administrators, or entrepreneurs, or all integrators, will fail. You need a combination of producers, administrators, entrepreneurs, and integrators. And when you look at the visual appearance, they are conservative. For producers, they conform to standards. For administrators, trendy. For entrepreneurs, you can see them, the way they are dressed. They dress completely different from the rest. Because they want to look different. They are entrepreneurs by nature. And this one is warm and accommodating. The entrepreneur, the producer likes you if you get things done. The administrator likes you if you follow the rules. This one likes you if you follow directions, play to his or her thought process. You have to be within their hands. If you get along with others, confide in himself, in silent formation. Get along with others, this one. The producer becomes very dangerous when you are not working hard enough. We have seen it. They come to you, they say, he's not working hard enough. Why did he get the promotion? He's not working hard enough. Obvious. Administrators, they are dangerous when you want to change things. They don't like change that much. The entrepreneur becomes dangerous when you lack initiative or do things without his or her consent. You can see they are more controlling entrepreneurs. And the integrator hates you. They become dangerous when you criticize people in public. You speak your opinion on behalf of others. When you start criticizing people, they don't like it, the integrator.
Well, actually, I'm enjoying this, but there is no real boundary. Each of us, we have little.
Yeah, absolutely, we have the leader. And
there's something wrong.
There is no way you can have 100%. I'll tell you one thing. When I was in Salford University, I take this model, I took all my staff. I was head of school, academic and administrative. And I get them the assessment myself. I assess them. I say this person, 70% producer, 10% administrator, 20%, and I did the summation for the whole school. And I could see some runners. That's what I said. I said, if you have all producers of all administrators, it will collapse for sure. And not one person has one type of quality. It may be dominant in a particular area. There may be more of producers, 70% producers, 10% administrators. You can see some people, almost zero administration. If you give them any administrative task, they don't know how to plan it, they don't know how to follow rules, etc. They will be disastrous for you. So you know, in the organization they represent 5% for administration. Only 5 or even less if you can. So you have to plan, and this is a very good model for planning teams, because even they tell you how they think of each other. Like the administrator, what is it, this one? The producer thinks that the administrator is a nitpicker. بناء أمر. And a producer بيعتبر administrator does nothing. For her, it's just creating bureaucracy for the producer, and she's not or he not doing their job properly. So they have feelings towards each other. How this one feels that they are crazy. The producer think of the entrepreneur. They are crazy, lazy, rowing upstream. He doesn't believe in that. But you need them in the organization. You need the entrepreneur to bring you the idea, the innovation. And it's a very, very good model. You can apply it, I think, in forming teams.